to 8 p.m.
2 minutes past 7, bana besho ntumelele ngitse sebaka se ke le dumedishe ebile ke alamohela into the second and final hour of Waterberg Talk. Lebitso la ka ke Ratlou Mabula. Ntle le tshenyo ya sebaka re tlo tsena mo polelong ya rena mo re tlo boledišana le Stakeholder Affairs Executive ya Exxaro ke Mzila Mthenjane. Re tlo ba rebeletse mohanto o tsereng karolo mo tsatsing la maobane re bone company ile a latofatswa ka dilo tse pedi tse tharo gomme bona ba tlile mo hore le bona ba kgone go ka tlo ikarabela mo dipolelong tsona tseuwe. All right, Mr. Mthenjane, good evening to you and a warm welcome to Waterberg FM. I'm not sure if you can speak or now any of the Sotho languages, but if that is the case, we can continue with it in that regard.
Good evening, Ratlou, and thank you very much for inviting me to your show this evening, and good evening to your audience in the Waterberg region.
All right. There has been a protest, which you are very much aware of, because yesterday they were meeting after a meeting regarding what was going on there. And how does the company respond to what happened yesterday?
As we indicated in our media release earlier today, Ratlou, we are saddened and we really regret the loss of life of a member of the community as a result of the community unrest that took place. We had been in a formal engagement with municipal officials, and these engagements did not start yesterday, but these are engagements that have been ongoing since the beginning of October with the mine management. And I can also say that I've been involved from last year in some of the engagements around how do we work better together with the local municipality for the betterment and improvement of the conditions of living and life in Lephalale.
What are the issues in as far as your understanding is concerned here? What are the people accusing you of not giving to them as locals?
So the issues that the community has always raised with us, which we have always been trying to respond to, really center around four main areas. The first one is around local recruitment. As you may be aware, Exxaro in the past 3 to 5 years spent quite a lot of money building new projects, which we refer to as the GG6 project, as well as the loadout station. And we did make a commitment that we will give and open up opportunities to local community members, particularly the youth, and especially when it comes to those opportunities which do not require a high level of skill. The second issue also then focuses on procurement, and here again local procurement, where we should provide opportunities for local SMMEs. And then the third issue has been around skills development, where we provide skills to local community members for them to be able to find employment both in the mine and outside the mine, and also to be available for opportunities that may come up from the mine in terms of some of these projects. And then the last issue has been around Exxaro's social investment in the community, that they believe that we're not doing enough. And this is really all in a context where we're sitting at a national unemployment rate of close to 40%, and it's probably shot up. And in a rural area like Lephalale, the local unemployment is of that order of magnitude, if not any worse than that. So we're talking of the deep need for these four issues to be addressed in that context.
So the issues that have to be addressed from the company's side, are you telling me that not much has been done, with regards to empowering of SMMEs that are based in Lephalale, as well as, skills development, and among others, issues of locals acquiring senior positions, those that have studied and that rightfully deserve those positions?
Not at all. I mean, we have done a lot as Exxaro in Lephalale. And from a local recruitment perspective, I can talk to, what we have committed to in terms of the current projects which we have restarted now that we are in lockdown level 2, and following the protocols. And we have a number of contractors that are employed who we have engaged and said, as an Exxaro contractor, we have a commitment to make sure that we employ locally. And we have identified about 144 opportunities for employment only, just from an employment perspective, in as far as these projects are concerned, which are towards the end of implementation. And all of these are for locals, for which there are skills available. We also have got bursary opportunities, both specifically in terms of Exxaro as a group, but also at the mine itself. And we have got candidates from Lephalale who have graduated from university and are working for Exxaro in some of our operations. And one of the unfortunate things that we must accept, as I indicated, that we're sitting at a high level of unemployment, but unfortunately we have very limited or few opportunities available. But it is true, and it's something that I can provide additional information for, that we have engaged with local communities as far as we can in terms of recruitment, procurement, and I can go on and talk about opportunities in enterprise and supply development as well, where we specifically have opportunities in Lephalale for small enterprises.
One of the issues I picked up here, because I had a conversation with some of the representatives of the protesters, was the recruitment process here. To them, it is questionable because it seems to be blocking locals, the SMS thing and all that. You speaking to me now, what are you assuring people with regards to the issue of recruitment? Is there something that needs to be upgraded there?
So the mine management has been engaging with the local municipality and the councillors since the beginning of October, when these issues were raised with us. And we had agreed to establish a formal structure which will be fair and transparent to all community members of Lephalale, not only those who are associated with the municipality. And we had been engaging since then on trying to formalize what kind of process we will follow in terms of recruitment, what kind of process we will follow in terms of procurement and enterprise and supply development. And it's unfortunate that it had been in the course of this discussion with the leadership led by the mayor that we had these parallel engagements in terms of community unrest from the youth. So what I can commit to is that the company Exxaro and the mine is committed to continuing to work with local municipality and the recognized structures in finding a solution which is fair to everyone and does not give preference to any specific individual in terms of employment opportunity or any business opportunity for SMMEs.
So does that mean that recruitment or procurement will not be handed over to someone else? It will be done the Exxaro's way?
It's not being done the Exxaro's way. So we, I think it was last year, we employed, with the support and involvement of the municipality, of a social facilitator. And the role of the social facilitator was to remove subjectivity. And what I mean by that is to remove any potential doubt that the municipality may have on how Exxaro is conducting things, as well as remove any doubt in terms of how the municipality may conduct certain things. So the facilitator was really there to help both of us. And we agreed that the social facilitator will be the structure that we will use for these opportunities. It is not an Exxaro way. It is a way that both Exxaro and the municipality agreed to, and we signed off on.
Yeah.
So it's a very important point that must be understood, that this is not about Exxaro trying to control how recruitment happens. What we are saying is that we cannot allow for procurement to be managed by an entity who will then dish out opportunities to preferred people.
Yeah, you want transparency to prevail.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. There is an issue also which has been raised on many occasions. I remember even on the 17th of September when there was introduction of the pipeline project, which is taking, I think, water from Zealand and it's intended for Marapong, that it seems that local businesses are only empowered in projects and not in operations. How do you respond to that?
No, so the projects are, we always have projects on the mind. And projects are there to provide a solution to a potential challenge that we may have technically. And so projects are there to provide opportunities on an ongoing basis, as and when issues come up.
Yeah.
And the kind of opportunities that come up are contracting for short term, so it's procurement, and it will be short-term employment as well. With regards to operations, we do also provide opportunities as well through contracting, and those contracts will actually tend to be much longer, at least 1 year, and in some instances up to 3 years and maybe 5 years, depending on how complex the problem is that needs to be addressed. So we are constantly looking at opportunities for local communities, both in terms of short-term projects that can go anywhere from 6 months to 3 years, as we've seen with the GG6 project, and operationally as well on an ongoing basis. We are constantly looking at how we can transform our total procurement book as Exxaro, and specifically for a big operation like Waterberg, such that we can bring in local SMMEs.
And do you have control over how companies that you are client to are hiring and also doing their own recruitment processes, particularly here at Waterberg, which is where the complaint is looking at?
Certainly, when it comes to all contractors, I think Exxaro is a company itself that was born out of transformation and empowerment in South Africa. So we have a very clear understanding of the need for continued transformation. So whenever we select companies, we will make sure that empowerment credentials are demonstrated. And then when it comes to the employment where those contractors are going to be operating for our projects, we ensure that localization, so to speak, is part of how they will operate.
All right. So it's something that is going to happen. It's not happening yet.
It is something that is happening. With regards to the issue of some contractors not adhering to what we had agreed to in as far as local recruitment, this is where the discussions had started with the local municipality, and that's what we have been trying to address. And this is why we're saying that we needed to have maintained the conversations in this formal structure so that we get to a resolution, so that we as Exxaro understand the contractors that the community members listed not to be adhering or sticking to the agreement. We follow up on that. We had been in the process of following up, led by the business unit manager.
All right.
Really, what we are asking for is patience on the part of communities. And whilst we are investigating, we are also having engagement in terms of current opportunities that are available, which were actually going to be made available now in the month of October. And we have also identified other opportunities which will be available between now and the end of the year. And whilst I have this platform, let me also mention that, all of these are opportunities which are over and above our social and labor plans, where in the previous social and labor plans, we spent about 128 million rand, and we'll be spending an equal amount of in the next 3 to 5 years as well on social and labor plans in various initiatives, both recruitment, skills development, and social investment. So we cannot afford not to build good relationships with communities as a result of deviations by contractors. Yeah. When a problem is found, we want it to be brought to our attention and we fix it. And then we carry on with other things. We shouldn't let one thing destroy everything else that we've worked on so far.
I'm sure you've got something to say to the distraction and the distractors, that took place yesterday. As a company, we've seen property such as your robots, put down, and some of the things were banned, etc. As we wrap up this discussion, what would you like to say to the protesters?
When we get angry, we can do some very silly things individually, and I think those silly things can get worse when we are a collective. Secondly, I think it's important that people maintain discipline when expressing their disappointment with the company, and not only think of the short term, but think of the long term as well. And then the last thing I would like to say is that let's agree on a formal structure of engagement and stick to it. Let's empower the young community leaders who are passionate about Lephalale to engage effectively through those structures and develop a plan that we can use to develop not just the few who claim to be representative, but let's develop the whole community and look at projects not just for today, but also for the future. That's what I would like to say to them.
All right, Mzila Mthenjane, you are the Stakeholder Affairs Executive at Exxaro. Let me take this opportunity and thank you for being part of this discussion.
Ratlou, thank you very much for this opportunity, and hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Sure.
Current affairs, law, labor, science, environment, and developmental discussions. Waterberg FM 99.3.
All right, re ke lebelle melaetsa ye mengwe mo ke tlo tlhathollela ka moraonyana se ba beng ba se bolela hona mo diputso tse dintse di beng di tswella mo ke diputso tse di sa nyallaneng ha botse le polelo ya rena e fela di butsisa ka company ke tlo tsopolela tse pedi tse tharo ke o bontshe hore tse dingwe tse di nyaka e lore we are having a general discussion perhaps about Exxaro as a company fela mo re be re beletse gudugudu mo tabeng ya maobane ba re thobela na putso ya me le bane le company ya hore na khiro ya bona e sepela bjang le kwile are cause ba go bua nnete ke ile ka apply ba mpitsa ba ndirisa Dover's assessment ka manyami ba ile ba re ke ha ka processor for interview mara ha ke etsa research ba Dover assessments ba bolela hore ke must hore if you fail you must do it 6 months or annually di tla sepela ka di procedure and protocol, but company ha ke ba butsisa ba re there is no such a thing. If you fail you fail. Kamo Dover assessments e bolela hore swanetse e sepelele interview and training process inside. All right, o mongwe o re Exxaro mine ke khalele hona e operator e thusitse godimo tse tsinyana empa kopo ya ka ke gore ga e dumele go shumishana le ba di forum re ka leboga ge ba ka shumishana and then ba re thobela ke tlhoka ina mo marapong re na le problem ya company. All right, re a leboga le molaetsa o we wa hao le o sa felle ba re thobela na ke tlhoka ina ke gopela hore ba etsa pele ba le phalale they must lead by example go bile le di projects ka mo masipala o thoma isa le mayor a sorama situlo ba daga gona ragwebo o magwebo o tseyo ka moshupang di projects ka moka tsa masipala di fiwa batho ba go sedule le phalale ba mo le phalale tsogang le batle nnete. And then o mongwe o re ke tlhoka ina. All right, yeah, le tshaba ho represent your views. I see. Ke bolela mo godimo ga ditanka tsa mo magaeng tsa metsi o bolela ka sela ke beng ke se lebeletse mo metsotswaneng ya o feta o mme re tlo ba re boledishana mo after polelo ye re beng re swere mo ke tlo tsopolela tse dingwe tsa tse o re beng re di swere ho mme ka morao ha mowe ka tlo tsena mo taba yengwe ya rena ya ho latela ho mme ke tlabe ke boledishana le baeng ba ka ba ba letseng ba le ka mo ntlong khasho hona mo sebakeng se ho mme re tlo ba re lebeletse hore mohlomong ba ka tlo rabela ho bane wa kgoneha e fela se sengwe re tla be re lebeletse dikopano tse ba beng ba le tsona ba lebeletse taba tsa ho ka tsosholosa borakgwebo ka kakaretso mo tikolohong ye re phelang mo ona ke ba le ba Nafcock le ba tseba bo ntate Bennett Ramolongo ke sebakanyana ntse re fela re bona ba shuma mishumo ba tshwara dikgwebo ba emetse taba tsa bo mmagwebo le bo rakgwebo potlana.
To advertise on Waterberg FM, call our marketing department on 063-784-0131 or email us at waterbergfm993@gmail.com during office hours. Waterberg FM, go with the flow.
Vigilant
current affairs, law, labor, science, environment, and developmental discussions. Waterberg FM 99.3.
All right, re a leboha 23 minutes past 7 ka buripananyana ke tlo bontsha mo polelong e re beng re swere hona mo re boledishana le bale ba company ya Exxaro ke ile ka ba botsisa ha botse ka taba ya hore ba ikarabela bjang ka mo hwantso tse reng karolo mo tsatsing la maobane ba bontsha hore bile mo sengwalong sa bona se stoletseng hona mo ba tloa ba le manyami ka hore hona le motho yo yo a latlhegetsweng ke bophelo bjale ka he ho be hona le mo hwanto maobane re ile ra o bona ba bontsha taba ya hore ba bile le dipoledishano le ba etapele ba ka mo masipala wa Lephalale e fela se 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 baratang o ka se fitlhella ke taba ya hore mo ditabeng tsa bona tsa local recruitment je di tsweleditseng ke balli ba na le se baratang o ka se bona se direga ka hore ba shetse ba shumisitse masheleng a mantsi ho tswa go morao mo diprojekeng tse di leng hona ye nngwe ya diprojeke kgolo tsa bona ile yona ya GG6 mo baratang hore taba tsa o sona le local procurement le batho ba le ba ka humanang dikgwebo borakgwebo le bomakgwebo potlana le taba tsa di skills development ho ka tlhatlosha tsebo ya bashumi ba utswa hona mo haemo ebentwe e bang e kaone ho feta mo sebakeng sa komrao ba bontsha hore ba ile ba dira meshumo ya corporate social investment mo re bonang di company di tšea masheleng a ona di dira dilo tsa o sona le o aha dikolo ho ba ho mpšhafatsa ditoropo tse ba phelang ho tsona ba bontsha le taba ya hore hona le tse dintsi tse le re ba rata o ka di fitlhella ka he mo sebakeng se mo project tse di tlo tswellang ba shetse bana le meshumo ya o lekana e le 144 ye loreng e lebeletse badudi ba tikoloho yona ye ba bontsha hore komrao ba gonna o ka fitlhella dilo tsa o sona le di bazari tse di filweng bana ba mo hae le o ka ba tlhatlha ka di bogoni ho ba skills tse ba beng ba di tlhoka ho tswa komrao e fela se se holo se ba ratang o ka se bona ke hore recruitment e be formalized process ya ona abanya gore recruitment ya bona e tlo felletsa e le mo matsong a batho ba ba ka bonang ba hola setlhopha se se itseng fela e fela se banyakang ho se bona ko hore recruitment ya bona e hole setšhaba sa mo Lephalale le selete sa Waterberg ka kakaretso le province ntle le ho lebella ho ba go kgetha batho ebile ke rile ke mmutsa hore ana yeo ke tsela ya company ya Exxaro ya o dira dilo ara se tsela ya company ya Exxaro e fela ke tsela ya procurement ka mo go banyakang hore dilo di sepele ka hona ho be le sela se tsebehang bjalo ka transparency ye e ka gonang ho thusa batho hore mo tseleng ya bona ya khiro le ya o fana ka di business e be se loreng ska khona ho lamang le mang yo a dulang mo tikolohong yona e ba bontsha hore go morao ba gonne ho ka shumisha masheleng a o lekana 128 million mo dilong tsa o swana le social labor plan ba le ka montlong ga shoka mo ke na le bontate Bennett Ramolongo ba emetse Nafcock ba emba ka re tlo tsa se ba ka se re gone ho ka tsia digang re swere mathomong. All right, I'll read this message for acknowledgement ya topic here when earlier on. Good evening, Exxaro. The community of Lephalale and Limpopo at large are very much despondent, if not angry with you, especially when it comes to employment issues. Please take heed, change the manner you guys are doing when it comes to employment. Locals are not idiots. Small businesses are not considered to offer their services, especially black-owned. Young people formed their businesses only to be given cold shoulder. Why? All right. Waterberg FM, hi.
Tobela, Dr. Ratlou.
Tobela, le katsana tabeng.
Ya, o bolela le sela a boselemena, mo le phalle ba ntse ka motsepe. Dr. Ratlou.
Yeah.
Batho ba bolela dipolelo tse di right ka di project ore batho ba le phalle ba tshwantse ba gole.
Yeah.
And ba bolela botsa ba gore unemployment ke tlhoboro ko mo le phalale. But the problem is gore di le mo matsong a bona ba di tsamaisa jang. That is very much important. Because se ba krele di project di fuwa bos mama.
Yeah.
How that fairness? It's the problem. Recruitment is by still. Recruitment se ba hira hona le gore ba hira bos mama. So ke khale re bona ka gore batho ba le phale tshwantse be di million. It's good. Re batla batho ba ne di million. But ra bolela re tlo thoba go bona neng di billion mo le phala.
All right, ikwa hetse sama. So yeah.
The other thing, Rabulu kono ona ona ya no tshwantse go be dimela. Ke khale so ba bele nnete ba phutsane ba ba kre ba tswelore ba tlhaloga yo tshwantse ba distribute dilo tse dia. Without favorite.
Yeah. Mena ro kwelehle
That is the only problem. Thank you, sir.
Re a leboha. Waterberg FM, hi.
Ratlou.
Thobela le ka tsana tabeng.
Ke mokgawa Emmanuel tshepela di fara.
Emmanuel.
Yeah, how can lebella mantswa na bolela ke tete Mzila ne? A re sama thoma re bolela ka taba tsa stakeholders, one of the stakeholder manager to Exxaro even though we are ka le bo dalane.
Yeah.
First of all, the language is a barrier moyena. Now, all discuss the issues, that the language is a problem. And Honano Erke wants the very same person in Mzila who understand that the operational system, recruitment system, Exxaro, where that he end up deviating himself, where that all the company were decent the non-locals. Here in Kabe, Banaba locally Basayama. The forum meaning that even today as we speak, Gaba continue because often the letter of exemption for other companies who are allowed but to society. Understand? You can see what those people, those companies started they're not taking us serious. They only take us serious here to push. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
So those people they are playing hide and seek, and it's just that online just telephonic. And so that we can ask him a lot of questions. Sorry, Chief, here you compare, you like it or not? Otherwise, you vamos.
All right, Rukwila Manice. Waterberg FM, hi. Waterberg FM, hi.
Your call has been placed on hold.
All right. Ntate Romolongo, barenago, and then Beketlang, other issues sitting really khwathile mo metsotsong ya feta. Waterberg FM, hello. Tabela le ka tsana tabeng.
Wa buisa something ne?
Yeah.
Ona no re na le problem ya hore re le ra nna le company le project di danga. Ka dira di profile the company